Hello friends, welcome. Friends, today morning I saw this article. This article has not been reported widely in the newspapers. Only NDTV Profit has reported this. Now, what is this report? The headline is Jio Airtel questioned by the telecom regulator over misreporting of 5G AirFiber subscription data. So, this is an NDTV Profit exclusive. Now, friends, I have been talking about this from a long period of time. You know that I've been tracking subscriber data, and the discrepancy in the subscriber data was pointed out to me in many of the past videos. Now, friends, the TRAI subscription data report is so complicated that the normal people will never be able to understand what is going on. First, the report is very complicated. Second is that there are some inconsistency in reporting of the changes which TRAI themselves have done from the month of January. Because what was happening, friends, before month of January, that is till December, I'll just show you the data so that you can understand what is going on. So if you look at this this report, and I was going to start from the very beginning of this report, not this report. This was basically that this report was for this report is December report. I'm going to talk to you about the January report. Let's go first look at step by step what actually went and what kind of changes TRAI has done in the subscriber reporting data. First, we will understand that. And then we are going to talk about this letter and why this letter has been written and what is the implication of this letter and what more that the TRAI needs to do in order to create more clarity in the subscription data. That is the whole purpose of the video. Friends, you will find this video very interesting because there are so many nuances in this whole reporting structure, and the implications are huge, friends. It is not a simple thing which I'm doing, and I'm going to talk to you about the implication. So let's first go step by step. In the month of 21st April 2025, TRAI reported the 31st January 2025 subscription data, and for the first time in the subscription data, TRAI made a note in the summary of the highlights, right? What was the note? And if you look at the note, it says that the wireless subscriber of 5G includes 5G FWA subscription also. When I say wireless, they are talking about this wireless subscriber, right? So that is one. The second thing is that there is a decrease in wireline telephone subscription due to accounting of 5G FWA telephone subscription under wireless from January 2025. Now, you friends, you will get terribly confused here. Let me explain to you that this is the summary report under which these changes have been done. But there is an annexure down below, which is very, very important, where category wise, circle wise breakup is given by TRAI. Since there are so many summary reports, people will get confused. So I am going to first explain to you what is going on. Now, there is a table here, which is called Annexure 1. Because I always look at this table in order to get breakup service area wise, right, for the operators. And this table is pretty important. Here, this is called Annexure 1. This contains wireline subscriber base. And then there is another table, which is Annexure 2, which contains wireless mobile subscriber base, right? Now, friends, just for the clarification for everybody so that everybody understands, from January 2025, both these tables, wireline subscriber base as well as the wireless mobile subscriber base, does not contain FWA. And FWA is reported separately under a different annexure, which is Annexure 5. So let's understand this very clearly. And I'm going to show you why I am saying so, right? And you will be able to understand why I am saying so and what is the proof that these two tables do not include FWA. Because if you look at the summary table, what they have said, wireless include FWA subscription also, and this is the total wireless, right? Now there is one table, you can say table, which will unlock this confusion, if at all there is a confusion. What is this table? This table is the total telephone subscribers, right? Now, if you look at the total telephone subscriber is what? Wireline, wireless, and FWA, right? That is the total. So the December number is 1189.92. Just focus on this December number first. And I have a chart which I have been aggregating from the very beginning. These two tables, wireline and wireless, not the FWA, by the way, right? FWA is not included here. So this chart is titled Operator-wise Subscription Trend of Telecom, circle-wise, right? Now, if you look at the data of December 2025 of the total subscribers, so this is total, right? This is 1189.9. And let's look at the number which I showed you, 1189.92. So this is the December number, right? Noted? Now, if you look at the January number of the total subscription, 1192.03. And in my table, the January number is 1186.3, right? Now, as I left for the sake of repetition, I want to say that this table, which I aggregate in my website, includes what? These two annexures, wireline annexure 1 and annexure 2 for wireless, right? So it is very clear now that in the month of January, that is the starting part of the year, TRAI excluded from these two tables, which I showed you, these two tables, which is down below, not this here. So if you go down below, so these two tables, the table number, a table for annexure 1 and annexure 2, and they deprive the wireless FWA subscribers from these two tables. Earlier it was getting reported under wireline, and now they are aggregating this and reporting this under what? A separate table called annexure 5. So let's completely clarify this, and everybody should understand this, that these two tables, for the sake of repetition, does not include FWA anymore. From wireline part, the FWA has been taken out, right? So that's the situation. And if you add this two, and in order to make it further, substantiate this further, so the total FWA subscription was 5.716 million, right? Now, if you go to my dashboard, you'll see the January number is 1186, right? So if I add 1186 and then we add 5.7, you can see that is 1191.7. And this is exactly what the total subscription, telephone subscription data table shows, right? I'm going to show you again so that you can understand. There could be some minor differences because I have added only in millions. So this is, see, 1192 matches, right? So it is clear that these two tables do not include FWA, right? Now, friends, why I am repeating this again and again, right? TRAI by themselves have excluded FWA from the wireline subscription base. And then TRAI is writing a letter which is being reported by NDTV, questioning the telecom regulator over misreporting 5G AirFiber subscription data under wireline. So what is this going on? Because they already have extracted this in the month of January. So why this article has come? So let me just read out this article. So Telecom Regulatory Authority asked Reliance Jio and Bharti to clarify and classify their 5G based home Wi-Fi subscription services. Critical question whether their AirFiber offering should be counted as wireless or wire broadband. And they talk about the license fee implication. They say if you classify something under wireline, SUC is not paid. If you classify something under wireless, you have to pay SUC. So wireline actually if you classify something under wireline, you can save some license fee outflow. Now, whether that is happening or not, I'm not too sure, right? So this is the arbitrage implication. But for the sake of repetition, I am again telling you that TRAI, this letter was written when? Just recently. Because if you look at this article was published in 11 June 2025. So this letter has been written recently. But TRAI have themselves excluded the FWA subscribers from the wireline bucket. So what is this going on, right? That is the question one has to ask, right? Now, friends, let's do another level of check, sanity check. Let's go to my chart again. And in this chart, what I am going to do is I am going to choose wireline. Why I'm choosing wireline? Because I want to see clearly that whether there is a dip in the subscriber base of wireline by the service provider, because till December the total wireline subscription included FWA. I told you. Now in January there is a drop. Clearly you can see the drop. 39.3 dropped to 35. So that drop explains that these two annexures, annexure 1 and annexure 2, now has been extracted out from the wireline data. And this drop is only been seen in Reliance Jio to this extent of 4.34 million. But Bharti, there is no drop. Can you see this? This is market incremental data. So Bharti should also have been shown a negative drop, because Bharti cannot add OFC based subscriber to an extent so much that it will show a positive number. And let me tell you why. So if you go to the same chart, same table, and let's go to the FWA part of this, and you will notice that in January 2025, Bharti had around 8.72 lakhs FWA, which is roughly around 0.9 million FWA. So this FWA, which they are reporting here as 5G FWA base, should have been netted out from their wireline base. Reliance had how much? 4.8. Both these numbers have some problem. Let me explain to you first. Reliance, there is a drop of how much? 4.34 million. But how much is the FWA? How much is the FWA reporting here? 4.844 million. Now it could be that this is an incremental addition, right, in the month of January. So Reliance numbers, you can say, okay, match, because 4.4 plus incremental 400K, it became 4.8. And therefore, since from the month of December, Reliance's number, as far as wireline is concerned, right? I'll just show absolute number. That will make sense. Otherwise, it will be confusing. Wireline number was 17 million. 17 million, you should subtract how much? 4.4 million, which was the number of FWA by December, right? And then there was an additional of around 400K, and that's why the Reliance's FWA number is being seen here as 4.8, right? So there is no problem in this regard. But what about Bharti? So Bharti is 872K. So in case of Bharti, why this number increased from 9.8 to 10 million? Why this number? Because Bharti should have also netted out roughly around how much? 0.6 million at least. At least 0.6. You can assume that Bharti added another 200K in the month of January. So it is very clear that as regards Reliance Jio is concerned, the numbers might have got netted out from their wireline base, whereas Bharti continue to report their FWA subscribers under the wireline base. Is that the situation? Now, if this is the situation, then this table, which is right here in front of you, which extracts out Bharti's FWA connections, right, should be double counting. Right? Why it is double counting means that Bharti may be reporting this under wireline also, this FWA. Then what is this going on, friends? I am asking you a question. You please respond to me and tell me what is this going on. Why, in case of wireline, when he clearly TRAI has said that the wireline subscription base is netted out from FWA, and I showed you the calculations. What calculation I showed you? For the sake of repetition, let's go to the table. Which calculation I showed you? This table, the total subscription table. The total subscription table, if you add the total FWA, it comes out to be 1.192 billion, which matches with my number, because when I go to my subscription and if I take the total number here, the total number matches, because if you add from 1.186 plus the FWA numbers, which is right here below, which is the right here below the FWA numbers here, which is 5.7, it matches. So if it is matches, then what happened to Bharti's 8.72 lakh subscribers? Are they under the category of wireline, or they are in the separate category? Where are those numbers? Because I can't see a drop in the wireline subscription base for Bharti. Can you see this? There is no drop. So therefore, what TRAI might have done, TRAI might have got terribly confused. This is what I probably think. Now, if the FWAs have to be reported separately under a different category and it does not qualify as a wireline under the wireline category, and if you under the wireline category, if you are getting an SUC benefit, then the question comes that whether Bharti is actually reporting their revenues as far as the license fee is concerned properly or not. I don't know. I'm just speculating, right? So this is one part of the problem, right? Which is extremely confusing to me, friends. For the sake of repetition, let's again say, for the sake of repetition, let's say this, or let's clarify this, that these two tables, the wireline subscription-based table and the wireless subscription-based table, do not include FWA from January, and FWA has been reported in a separate table, which is Annexure 5. And Bharti's number do not show up as a dip in wireline because this number, which could be roughly around 0.7 million, should have been dropped from this wireline subscription base for Bharti, which we can't see in the month of January. So there is definitely some confusion. So this is one problem. The second problem is also very serious. If you recall, friends, I have been doing videos about the Reliance Jio's UBR in 5 gigahertz band. So they are giving their FWA subscription not only in the 3.5 gigahertz band, but also under the unlicensed spectrum of 5 gigahertz band. And they have been saying that their UBR is equivalent in speed and it is symmetrical compared to the 3.5 gigahertz 5G FWA. Now, if you are giving a service under unlicensed spectrum using Wi-Fi technology, then how can you categorize that under 5G FWA? So it is not going to be a license fee issue, but it is going to be a branding issue. You can't be categorizing 5G FWA or if, the Wi-Fi based 5G FWA, or you can not say Wi-Fi FWA under the category of 5G, so the consumers will get fooled. And then in the 26 gigahertz band, you are talking about using that particular spectrum band, which is an IMT 5G spectrum under Wi-Fi. So not only the categorization of 5G FWA has to be properly done, it should be included in wireless for the purpose of paying SUC, but from the branding point of view, all FWA which is falling under the Wi-Fi category, under the UBR and the LBR in the 26 gigahertz band, should be categorized under a non-5G category from a branding point of view. Otherwise, you are fooling the customer. If you recall, friends, around 15 years back, because I was in Qualcomm, so I remember this whole battle of eVideo. eVideo was supposed to be branded as 3G. But COI at that time prevented eVideo to be branded as 3G. So eVideo never was positioned as 3G because there was a regulatory issue. Because if you are selling 3G services under the category of eVideo, which was much more in advance compared to WCDMA, which was the GSM version of the 3G, then in that case, what would have happened? Consumer would have locked into eVideo. So similarly, if Wi-Fi based FWA is being offered under the 5 gigahertz band under UBR and under the 26 gigahertz band under LBR, those cannot be categorized at 5G FWA. So this is the second problem, friends, other than what TRAI has written in this letter. This letter is to kind of make sure that there are no arbitrage from a point of view of license fee. But I am taking this a step further. Anything being reported under 5G spectrum using 5G technology should be categorized as 5G FWA. If you are using Wi-Fi technology to provide connectivity under the banner of AirFiber, that should be reported under Wi-Fi because those services are not 5G. Wi-Fi is not a 5G technology. It doesn't have any of the feature of 5G, right? So friends, that's all in this video. I thought of doing this video so as to make the viewers very clear about what kind of problems that we are facing in our reporting structure. Because this reporting thing and the branding thing is very, very important. Because if you are going to sell Wi-Fi under the category of 5G, right, then it is making a fool of the customer, right? Because Wi-Fi doesn't have any of the 5G capability like low latency, network slicing, UE level slicing. Those are not possible under Wi-Fi technology unless until you create a proprietary Wi-Fi technology. Then it is reinventing 5G again. What is the point? Why would you reinvent 5G, which has got so many economies of scale and devices, etc., right? So anyway, friends, I thought of doing this video to just inform the viewers what is going on. So I hope that you might have found this video very interesting and thought-provoking. And let me know your views in the comment section. And thanks for watching till the end. And I'll come back with a new video and a new topic next time. Thank you very much, friends.